Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Ni hao, Buenos dias, Hesiche, Aquaba, Welcome, Buenas tardes, what up, though? This is Cafe Melange, week numero tres, session numero cuatro. I mentioned before that the intention is to keep Thursdays light as we conclude the week, get ready for the weekend, and relax a wee bit. So in the next week, we've got some. I'll say this: Rosh Hashanah is on Monday, so I abstain from. Uh, I'm staying away from the sessions on a Monday, but returning on Tuesday. Um, Today, what I consider sharing is some music, and I'll say, in terms of like business or notes or news or whatever, I still have yet to legit send invites out. We've got a repertoire of 3 weeks, an archives of 3 weeks, so there's something for people to see, seeing a certain consistency on a daily output, a daily basis. Um, And actually, I'm planning to do what I was thinking of doing before, which is calling people and emailing people with details who respond favorably to the calls. But also sending out invites to certain brethren to share comments. It seems nice to have somebody else's voice on these joints, particularly at this nascent stage. So in reading the story of Amanda Holzhauer, there's a consideration of um, sharing the voices of and the insight, the words of people that I do meet in life and that are involved in Mélanger. Maybe it might be a paragraph, just a note. It might be an extended correspondence. It might be something that's already written. So um, that's what I plan on doing. Um, Maybe not even next week, actually, because again, the high holy days are arriving in my tradition, and so it's an intense period. Uh, so little promises for the next week or two, other than doing as much as can be um, with the sessions. Um, I will say that I do send out some things with Mélanger Ethos Institute for some solicitations for some partnership in projects that we're working on. Things that I mentioned otherwise. Well, let's keep this light. So, without getting off of that, um, here we are. The songs that I have to share. The music. Oh, I'm going to do some singing, God willing. The music that I have to share. I haven't practiced this either, so we'll see how it is. Bob Marley. He himself is mixed, and that plays a critical role, influence in his life and in his music. His music of one love, reconciliation within humanity. Obviously, he walks the Rastafari path, and that his spirituality plays is part of that. But it is also informed by his experience of being Mélanger. And so, quintessential documentary. I think it's called Bob Marley. Surprisingly enough, and specifically enough, or it's actually just called Marley. It was made, I think, 2012 in the CE, in the Common Era. And I'm trying to think of the name of the filmmaker. I have it on. No, I don't have it. Do I? I don't have it on iTunes. It's on DVD. I have his music on iTunes. Anyways, Marley, about circa 2012 CE. And one distinguishing thing about it is that Ziggy Marley is featured in it. By featured, I mean that he's in it, he's interviewed in it, but also as one of the extras on the DVD. he does a speak over throughout the entirety of the documentary. So he's watching the film, and then he does commentary about what's going on in the documentary. So that's something special about it. There's a documentary about him and his family too. That's also nice. But anyways, Bob Marley. What's shared is that in his life, his far is of British English ancestry. His more is of African Jamaican ancestry, and his far leaves. So he's raised by his more as a single mother, his mother being a single mother, and when he reaches out to his far's family, his relatives that are still in Jamaica, he gets snubbed, or avoided, disregarded, rejected. And so obviously that's pain. But even amongst his African Jamaican family, he is subordinated. He's treated like a stepchild. And at a very early age, he has to work to make a living. His family puts him to work to earn his keep in the house, maybe at 12 years old or something like that. And so he takes that experience, that angst, the rejection, the pain, and he puts it to music. And reggae music, ska, is getting popular in Jamaica at that time, about 50 years ago, half a century ago, and over half a century ago. And so he finds his calling, his the place where he fits in. And so a lot of his music talks about that notion of being an outcast, of being despondent, rejected, overlooked, disrespected, and then triumphant. Being triumphant. It, again, is very spiritual. It talks about God and the guidance of God, and it can be understood very much so in the very direct context of Rastafari, but it also can be understood in an increasingly universal sense. And the universal struggle that every person experiences one way or another, which is why his music resonates with so many people across the world and across the earth. And one of the things that's featured in the documentary is how at the end of the film there is I left my hand there, and I don't know if any of that was recorded, but we'll see. Um, at the end of the documentary of Marley, there's a montage where people from all the earth, particularly in protest movements and additionally, are singing Bob Marley. And it's not even just protest, but like all different places. Even like in a Tibet, I think it's Nepal. Like, actually, no, it's Tibet, I think. Uh, like, anyways, all around the earth, Japan, Tibet, India, I think it's Morocco, um, Brazil, and additionally, they show scenes of people on the street singing about Bob Marley songs, in perfect Jamaican. Uh, so, like, the point is, the music resonates, the message resonates, and so these are two songs. Those songs. One song. One song talks about the struggle, and then another song talks about the triumph. Buenos tardes, ¿cómo estás? Bien, bien. One song talks about the struggle, and in talking about the struggle, I'm going to pause. In talking about the struggle, even just in talking about the struggle, there's triumph, because it's recognition of an ancient struggle for generations that our ancestors experience and continue on through us in one way or another. And because of that very nature, there is success. There is overcoming each generation's troubles and struggles to continue the lineage, to continue the legacy. Um, and that's the first song. The second song is increasingly direct in terms of the message of triumph. I will say what it uses a specific term, what a dubby is. A dubby or dopey is uh, basically a Jamaican word for like a bad spirit, like something otherworldly that has malevolent intentions. Um, and so there's the story. I don't know if this was in the documentary or if it was in something else that I saw. But basically, they're talking about um, this song. The song is called "Duppy Conqueror." And so basically, the way the story goes is when Bob wrote this music, Bob wrote the song. He had gotten some notoriety, got some success. People knew him, were celebrating him, and everything else like that. And one day he was sitting with one of his trusted friends who knew him from before, and his friend was like, "Yo, what's going on, Bob? What you down about?" And Bob was like, "Yo, man, there's some people clinging on to me, yo. Like they just trying to like suck the blood out of me." And like I don't know how to deal with that. And so basically, Bob said, "Yo, I got some duppies that are causing me some strife." And so his friend said, "Bob, not worry about that. We some duppy conquerors." So the idea of that is not antagonistic towards any individual, any human being, any person. It's a matter of conquering the evil tendencies or evil, the malevolent tendencies that often influence people towards doing malevolent things. And so when talking about being a duppy conqueror, it's not about being like taking other people out. It's a matter about like recognizing the otherworldliness of the circumstances and those negative influences uh, and conquering them teams. So I'm going to blow my nose before I go. So the first song, um, title. What's the title? Redemption song. How about that? Uh, so here we go. First song, Redemption song. Second song, Duppy Conqueror. And it took me about 15 minutes, a quarter of an hour to get to that point. Here we go. Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward and this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption song. Redemption song. Have no fear for atomic energy. Free yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets? whilst we stand aside and look. Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had. Hey Leo. Singing songs. Redemption songs. I'm recording myself singing some songs.
Redemption song.
Bob Marley, you got it.
Is he the one that wrote it though?
Yeah, he wrote it too.
Okay, I ain't gonna bother you.
I appreciate that, bro. Had no fear for atomic energy. Did it again. Free ourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Had no fear for atomic energy. 'Cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets? Whilst we stand aside and look. Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs. These songs of freedom, songs of freedom. Yes, me friend, them set we free again. Yes, me friend, we take the streets again. Bars couldn't hold me, force could not control me. Them tried to keep me down, but Jah put I around now. Yes, I've been accused, wrongly abused now. But by the power of the Most High, them got to set me loose. Don't try to hold me up on this bridge now. We got to reach Mount Zion, the highest region. So if you are a bullbucker, let me tell you, I am a dopey conqueror. Yes, me friend, that set me free again. Yes, me friend, we take the streets again. Don't try to hold me up on this bridge now. We got to reach Mount Zion, the highest region. So if you are a bullbucker, let me tell you, I am a dopey conqueror. Yes, me friend, me true friend. So, in the quasi words of a previous senator of this vicinity, the adapted words of a previous senator. Sir, I knew Bob Marley. I was friends with Bob Marley. And you, sir, are no Bob Marley. Haha. There it is. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Zaijian. Adios. Te chakaris. It's something that I said, One love and peace.